And we are started. Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to Satisfactory. Rare Tuesday version of Satisfactory, because I want to get this whole Ficsmas stuff done before the New Year's. So, first step is fix this factory, get this working at 100%. So we're low on Ficsmas wreaths, because these are low on ornament bundles, and those are low on ornament bundles, because these are low on iron ornaments, and we're low on iron ornaments because these are low on iron ingots. We're low on iron ingots because, let's see, I might have just done the math wrong, or, I mean, this is all running. It's not getting stuck on a belt anywhere. So how much iron is this? That's 15... 30. Oh, these are all set to 50%? That's not right. Most of these are supposed to be set to 100%. So that's, I believe it's just like the last pair. I must have copy and pasted the wrong thing. Alright, so we set that up. And now we have 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360, 390? Did I miscount? 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360, 300. Yes, okay, so I did miscount. We need one more of these, which, let's see if I can find them. Let's see here, it's probably, let's see, it's not that. What was it even called? I made a blueprint for this. I can't remember what it was called. Supercomputer, strange, no. Oh, smelter speed balance. Yes, it's this one. Alright, so we just have to turn that around and turn it around one more. And place it. Alright, then those ones need to be at 50%. These ones need to be at 100%. And we need to power that on. And that should theoretically be the last little bit of iron that we need to get this whole thing up and running. So copper is going just fine. Iron now looks right. So this is supposed to be 450, and this is a Mark IV belt, which means it should be 30 short of saturated, and it looks, I mean, it looks somewhere around there. So now we have to wait for this to propagate through the entire system. Obviously these are producing. So we have iron, we have enough iron on the belts now. So then it's just a question of how long it'll take for that iron to get all the way through the rather large system. There's a lot of belts that it's going to need to go down. It's going to need to go all the way down here, and then get converted into iron ornaments, and then run all the way over this way, where we get ornament bundles. And those are still not set up yet. So let's see if I can tell where the change actually is. This all looks like it's going faster. And I mean, all of these are green, right? So these are all green, which means that they're getting enough iron now. Right, yeah, so that takes up to 6 out of 3 right before it finishes. So that is that. And if that's been going for a while, then this should be going for a while. It's hard to tell. It looks like it might be more dense over here than over here, but it's close either way. So this should be mostly set up at this point. At least these close ones seem to be doing fine. Let's check. So this should get another one in just before it hits full. Yep, so that is going. And then we just need it to propagate through to all of these guys. Like this one, which is down to 49% at the moment. We'll see if it receives another ornament. No, it does not. So it still hasn't gotten the new ingots yet. And that's not because of this being slow or anything, right? Right. They're just going through. So it should be any second now. It's not that much of a gap. There we go. I mean, that was a minor delay, but not large. So that's going, and then all of these are going to have to also get caught up. And then once they all get caught up, then that's going to slowly trickle into these ornaments going out more frequently, which is a long and slow belt. So yeah, there's going to be quite the delay on this, but that's fine. We're not in a huge rush. And it looks like this is up to running. So we're just going to wait for 12.8 seconds. And alright, no, not quite. Apparently previously when it got one immediately it was a fluke or something, but it's gotten one now. So that's good. And let's see if this is going to keep going now. Yes, it does. Gets a new ornament right before the old one gets used. And now they're going. So, I guess... Okay, no, wait, actually, it's still not quite. I guess there is a bit of a delay where it's at higher throughput but not quite maxed. So that's going to take a while. We do need to, because we're going to have to get this one finished before the next one is finished, but it looks like it's going up. I mean, this is showing 62% as opposed to the 50% or so that it was showing earlier, which indicates that it's probably doing fine. Yeah, so now it's going, as is this one. So I think at this point, this entire row is all set up. So we just need to see how long it's going to take for it to get through. And we have weird speeds on the belts there. Some of these belts are faster than others. So let's just follow these ornaments along. And this is approximately how long it's going to take for this increased speed to get all the way through. And it's not fast, but it's also not terribly slow. I mean, these are Mark III belts, not Mark IIs or 1s. So we just keep going. We're almost through the production of this row. I'm not sure exactly which ornament we're chasing, but it's one of these couple ones around here. Alright, so now this has to loop around and go all the way over that way. So hopefully by the time the ones we're following get there, the entire system there will be mostly started up. There's still some yellows in there, but not quite so many as there used to be. So that should help us with our wreaths. Actually, it is not the fastest belt in the world. And we're about to hit slower, I think. Yeah, we're about to hit slower belts in here. So that is now branching off. And it sure is going. It sure is going. We do still have, I guess, these ones over here are going to be the longest. And they need 6 per minute. So they should be, I mean, it shouldn't be more than like 1 or 2 more cycles until that is all good. So let's see if that happens. This is up to 8. Alright, that was 50% done, and it's only at 8 out of 6, and it needs to get up to 12 to start again instantly. So it's definitely going to be a bit of a delay here as well, until we get our reads. But it's going up. It's up to 10 out of 6. It might make it, or be at least very close. It's at 10, it's at 11. It's not quite going to make it to 12, I think. Yep, there we go. We stopped for a little bit. And, okay, it's quite the delay, actually. But we got there eventually. And it's going along. Hopefully, I mean, these belts are not fast, so I could speed it up by making these faster belts, but that would sort of defeat the fun of seeing them move slowly along the entire thing. I really like having the belts just aesthetically be at exactly the speed they need to be. But let's see, I mean, how long does it even take, right? Because they've got to be most of the way there at this point. I can't see, it looks like all of this is uniform, meaning that this is the proper rate. And if there is any problems, it's all in here. It's hard to tell, though. Very hard to tell. So let's see if we can find one of these which is almost done, so we can see how their cycles are going. They're all up to 75%. This one's at 78%, and it looks like it might finish in time. Let's see if the ornament bundle gets up to 12 out of 6. There we go. So yeah, this one is then going to be solid at 100%, unless that was a fluke, which hopefully it wasn't. So there was that whole period where some of this was faster than normal and others aren't. Wait, actually, hang on. We still have some yellows back here. Why? Still no iron, and it's being quite an issue, actually. Alright, let's see. How much iron do we need here? So that's 1-to-1 there. This might be a math error. No, I still see yellows here. Still not enough iron ingots to get all of these running. What's happened there? Is it an actual... iron ore supply problem? Yes, it is. Alright, that's annoying. Because that's going to delay everything spinning up even longer now, but we probably just have a belt somewhere that's not fast enough. Like, if there's a Mark III belt or something somewhere in this... Oh, did I just not overclock these? Yeah, alright. So you need to be up at that. Alright, this is going to take absolutely ages to propagate through all the way. Fortunately, these first belts are fast, but past that, it's going to be kind of rough. So now we have 600 iron ore going along. It should drop down to 480 pretty soon, and then 450 a little bit after that, just because of the belt speeds. So there we go. And we have our Mark IV belt. Which, yeah, so this is now stable at Mark IV speeds. And iron is rolling again. Alright, so it's just getting down here. And again, we should have like 30 spare iron on this belt because it's 480 instead of 450, which is what it needs to be. So we shouldn't have any issues from that as a result. Alright, so now we're just going to have to wait for this to all propagate through again, which is going to take ages. I don't really want to stare at it because it's going to be kind of boring. Alright, these ones are yellow because of backlog, so that's fine. We're not worried about that. And the wreaths are still going. So this has been running to an extent, obviously. It's not been at 100%, but we do have a lot of those running, and we have a nice solid collection of stars. So we should be able to unlock the, what's it called? Upgrade 4. Probably. Let's see, that's like 150. That's 150 plus 200, so that's like 340 some, and we need like 500. So we're not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. So what else was there? We have snow cannons, decorations, snow dispensers, all sorts of stuff. Now I think, how big is this? This is a pretty big factory. It's gonna be hard to decorate this, but I guess I will try at least. And then the problem is going to be the various intermediate products and stuff as usual. Actually, there's equipment, right? There was like rockets or something. Yeah, so we have these. Let's make a firework, and let's make a firework or two and see what happens. Alright. Oh, I just uploaded that. I don't even know what these do. But maybe you have to launch them somehow. They're not like equipment, right? No, they don't go in any of the slots. It doesn't say. Is there like a Ficsmas rocket launcher or something? Or just a regular rocket launcher? There might be like a regular rocket launcher or something that I just don't know about because I don't normally fight enemies. So let's see here. It might be like under the rifle section. I don't know. We're not going to worry about that. But can you just assemble these? Yes, you can just make those in assemblers. So that's potentially something we might want to mess around with. Alright, how's this going? Are we still just recovering from the same problem of iron supply? Let's see. I see a lot of green back here. That's a good sign. So if that's all green, then that means that this will be getting through eventually. Alright. Very cool. So, let's see here. How do I want to decorate this area? Well, first, can I just place a giant Ficsmas tree in here? I don't know. I guess we can put it over here where the other gift trees are. Put it in this little gap. Alright, there we go. And we've got our giant tree, and presumably it'll be upgraded with a nice pointy star at the top once we get the last upgrade. Now, what about the snow cannon? We build that, and it just points off that way. Doesn't like create a snow covering, does it? Oh, it does. That's fun. Although it just sort of goes away pretty quickly. Interesting. I don't know how this works. And then we also have a snow dispenser there. Well, we're just going to leave you firing. And let's see here. If we get some candy canes, which we have plenty of spare candy canes over here, right, on these belts. We can grab some of those and make a snowman. Cute little snowman. Alright, we're gonna have to figure out like what we actually want to do as far as Christmas decoration stuff, because I'm not exactly great at decorations to begin with. And this isn't exactly the most festive thing imaginable. one snow dispenser firing at a snowman. But we'll see. Let's think about it a little bit. And in the meantime, we can drop down and check this. We're up to like 200-ish in there, 200-ish in there, so we're like 100 short. And that's like, what, 10 minutes, I think, at our production rate? So that shouldn't be too bad at all. Alright, then if we go over here, the leaves are still going. I was hoping that the iron shortage would cause us to have more leaves than we needed and then be able to start filling that box back up, but that seems to not be going to happen. Alright, so got all this. The copper is just going as usual. Iron has caught back up. These are showing 94%. This row looks like it's back to normal as well. Yeah, so it's showing 80-some%, which basically means that it's fine, but it hasn't quite averaged out yet. So let's see, that hits 2, and we're good. Plenty of ornament bundles. And then we go over here, and these ones are still slow. Those ones are still not working fast enough. Presents are still doing present stuff, although this whole thing should be about to stop, basically. I guess these last ones over here are like the first priority for output, so they're probably not going to stop producing, but like all of the rest of these guys are. And we should, in theory, be outputting more gifts than like this half-ish is going, so we should get gifts in this box. I don't know why we aren't seeing any get there. So it looks like it might be about to happen, actually. Yeah, there we go. So now we have spare gifts in there, and that will be for the time being until this whole thing starts running again. And what I want to do is I want this to be something which just runs permanently without any backlogs. Like this whole situation with the copper is quite... It doesn't look great. You know? I like things to be moving on belts, not sitting and waiting. So, what we're going to have to do is we're going to give the iron a little bit to keep going forwards. And then we're just going to start emptying out the spare copper-related things and gift-related things from the machines so that everything that runs exactly, or relatively close to it. So let's see, these are up to 77% and probably rising. It's at 10 out of 6 and 11 out of 6, should be 12 in a minute. Once it hits 12, then we should have confirmation that this is working. Yes, there we go. Just barely on time, which is how it normally works. So yeah, this whole row, I'm seeing only green lights, which is a very good sign. It means that this is probably working. And if this is working, then these belts are... It's a long Mark 1 belt, so it's going to take ages, but I mean, we have pretty good numbers there. It's supposed to be like 50 or so, I think, on that. Alright. I'm pretty much happy that the iron situation has been fixed. So now we can run back and start fixing the copper. So to start, we make sure that, well, so there can be ore in here just because that's finicky and difficult to get right. I could, because these are only used for this one thing, I could set the ore properly, but all of those have no spare outputs, so they're doing just fine. However, this belt is very much not. So this belt is the first one that's like majorly saturated. And that's going to be all of this stuff. And we're just going to have to start pulling copper out of these machines. And it's going to cause a bit of a hiccup, but that's fine. This is Ficsmas, so everything must be perfect. So yeah, there's going to be a brief pause that's going to have to get through the system while the lack of copper is an issue. But it will be brief. I mean, just like one cycle, half a cycle maybe. And then we should be good to go from that side. Alright, we have so many of these to remove. So there we go. We're going to need to clear out the old inventory and keep on going. So there we go. And a few more. There. So now we don't have huge amounts of spare copper in the machines, and there is still a lot of spare on the belts, but that will trickle through and disappear. There are so many machines here that can take extra copper into their buffers that the amounts, even on a long belt like this, is just going to disappear, basically. So that is that. And yep, we can see here now this belt is not oversaturated, it's just going. So let's get the remains of that out and then move on to the next stage. So we have these, which are probably all backed up as well. And we're going to get them going. Alright, over to here and start taking out copper ornaments. There we go. All of these must leave. And just a few more. Maybe we're not even halfway there. I don't know why I said that. It's just sort of an instinctive thing that I say. Right, these ones weren't even 100% full. They were close. Well, some of them were 100% full. Just depending on, you know, exact circumstances of the machine. So these all go out. And there we go. Then we get rid of all of those because we do not need them. And we just keep going. Alright. A couple more and we will have no spare ornaments. There we go. So now both iron and copper ornaments should be properly balanced. And just going out on the belts as they need to. And then we have these, which should be fine, right? They were the limiting factor to begin with. Yes, so we're gonna have to pull the tree branches, although they never got quite to the point of being filled, right? Just drop down here. No, we do see. Oh, this. I didn't do this. Right, that's an important thing that I just completely forgot to do. So you need to come back and merge up. And then the rest of you can go forwards. Alright, problem solved. So this was supposed to be a 1-to-7 splitter, but I never put the last bit actually properly looping back, which I'm pretty sure I did that correctly for this one, right? Or was this one of the 1-to-8s? Right, this is one of the 1-to-8s. So we should be fine with that now. So that's going along, and it's going to be a little bit before that all evens out. And then we are going to want to fix up the whole branch distribution because currently it is not quite correct. And is a Mark 1 belt enough for that? I have it here as a Mark 1 belt. And I have those ones as Mark 1 belts, so it should be fine, I think. Yeah, it should be fine. And then this is like 375. That's going to be less than 60, so this is going to be 480. So it'll all fit on the belts and get the 1:7 split properly. Alright, and yeah, there were all sorts of wacky numbers of branches on these because that side didn't get as many as this side. It's fine though, there's still like a couple hundred below being saturated, so we don't need to do anything extra there. We just need to wait for this to all filter out. Alright, this is going. This is like weirdly full. Why is that almost 100% full? Is that just how it's supposed to be? Probably. These aren't saturated. Cool. Alright, now we go back over here. And this looks like it is going now. Yeah, these are up to 96%. And I think we have enough stars. So let's grab all the stars we have. And those ones. And go to here. Grab the extra 150. Are we just a little bit short? Yeah, we need 11 more. So literally just wait for a minute. So each of these, just one more cycle off of these, then we'll be done. And then we'll have officially completed the holiday event. Although there's still plenty that needs to get done. And there we go. That should have us actually at the exact numbers. Yes, there we go. 500 stars. Ficsmas tree upgrade 4.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Oh look,
Yay,
it's
there's
so
a star.
shiny. You are such a wonderful person. I am sure every other human would agree. Let's call them right now. Oh no, they're not picking up. I'm sure it's
Ada.
nothing except... Oh, look. Earth is gone. Everyone's gone.
Oh no.
Does that make you feel good?
I can't believe the entire Earth
Fortunately
was
for
destroyed.
you, this was only a simulation of the possible consequences of neglecting your duties. Happy holidays.
Ada. What a wonderful, wonderful AI. You know, worker morale is important too. Who am I kidding? She does not care about worker morale in the slightest. Alright, so we have candy canes saturated, so let's take all of those spares out. And then that will be going. So now this whole thing is basically just for show, since we don't really need that many stars anymore. But I want to have a good solid Christmas factory. So there we go. Alright, so that is going. And we've got candy canes. Oh, there's so many candy canes backed up in these machines as well. I forgot. Okay, we're going to need to fix that. Otherwise this is going to look horrible forever. Not forever, but for a very long time. There we go. Just keep on grabbing them out. Okay, and then these ones are back to running properly again. So that should be all set. And then we just want to do the same thing for the gifts. Let's see here. I sort of started in the middle. Alright, so no spare gifts. And then we can go over this way. And that will keep the gift belt running at full speed as well. And the Ficsmas trees do not have internal inventories to have buffer, so there won't be any problems there. Alright. Let's get rid of all those gifts. And we should be all good now. Just gonna be a little bit. Actually, we might need to manually remove just like a little bit from the belts. There we go. That should be more or less fine. Actually, it would be easier to do it from this side. So actually, we don't even need to do that. Because of how this is designed, we can just send that into a box. And this is right any. So eventually the box will stop receiving anything because they're all going there. And we're good. Cool. So now we can just dismantle that. And we have a nice clean belt. So that is that set up. We're probably going to have to do that a couple more times in all of these spots. The leaves might just be okay to begin with. But let's see. So those gifts are going away now. And wait, I just realized we might have a problem with the way this is set up. Because I'm pretty sure that this is actually designed that the overflow goes like down here or something. Right? These ones are the last ones to receive gifts, which means that the entire rest of the system does need to overflow back to them. And I put an extra tree in as well. That was a thing that I did. Alright, so I probably shouldn't have done that, but it's fine. It'll recover quickly, and we have spare branches, so this will at most be a very minor temporary problem. Right, so that is going. And yeah, so this is receiving new batches of presents, which means that everything is equalized out again, and this is what it's supposed to look like, basically. Although this one is right overflow, so I can actually get it all set up back to there. Like that. And hardly anything. Probably just the extra 15 a minute that I don't, strictly speaking, need. Alright, so then we can take those out, and it's all good. Alright, so we've got that set up as much as it can, which isn't much. So yeah, we do have extra buffers of branches in these machines that we don't really need, but they don't appear on the belts, so I don't really care all that much. So then we can go back here those machines are good. They've absorbed the extra copper that was on the belts. Alright, now let's go back to these. We already have an overflow here, and it's not had any problems. So this is running fully, as is this one, although the overflow there got a bit close. Actually, no, we can leave that. Just probably take a couple out just in case something weird happens. Okay, and then we have the ore. So I can underclock our machines to get even the ore all set up perfectly, which I think would be quite neat. So that way everything will be perfect, and there will be not a single thing even slightly wrong, which is very much the Christmas spirit. Alright, so we go to these. These are iron, so we need 450. So this is going to be 225. This is going to be 225. And then they lose any spare ore because we're going to need to take all of that out in a bit anyways. And then we have to go over to the copper. And these are 300 each. We actually only need 300. So yeah, they're both at 49%. So I can actually just stand by you, yoink those back, and then yoink your spare copper. And let's see, I set these up correctly. That should be able to handle it. That's a Mark V belt. There we go. So now the amount of copper and iron production is exactly correct. The next step is to drain the extra belts, so that we have to just go over to where it's being used and take the buffers out, so that it all works out. And it shouldn't really cause much of a difference in here because these are speed balanced, but it will cause a bit of a difference in the last bit. So again, this will cause a very slight, just a couple second flicker in production, as these machines very briefly don't have the iron they need. Those ones were at low percents to begin with, as were those, and those, and then these ones. We take that out, get rid of all that, and now iron. Let's see. We can fill it into a box. We might need a larger box for these ones, because there's a lot of iron that needs to get removed. And we're going to have to go back and re-remove these ones, probably, because of how much there is. So eventually this box will just stop receiving iron, and that's how we'll know that it's all set up. Yep, that was pretty quick. So we can dismantle that, and these are still going to be filling up a little bit extra, but that's fine. We'll have to come back in a bit to clear them out again. In the meantime, we can get copper all set up. So first we get a storage crate, pull all the excess into there, and then we can start grabbing everything out of these. Alright, so these are all speed balanced perfectly, so it should basically just instantly be fixed once I make that change. And we still have some extra on the belts, which is unsurprising. These belts are considerably faster than they need to be. So we're just going to have that there, draining out the excess copper. Then we go back here, and the excess iron is also still going slowly but surely. There's a lot of it on these belts. There is a lot of it. So that'll just be a little bit. You know, all of the iron that gets this far is going in here, which is not surprising at all. So let's clear them out again, just to make sure that we don't have problems. The copper, since it's going into a box, should be fine. We don't have that much excess copper. Although it looks like we still have, you know, quite a significant number of stacks there. Alright. But it looks like the copper supply is now at the point where it's not giving a full saturated belt, which means that we should be good to go there. The iron, still working on it. It's a lot closer to the quote-unquote correct value, so it's unsurprising that it's going to take it longer. Because it's only pushing, what, 30 excess iron through per minute, as opposed to 180 for the copper. There's a pretty significant difference there. But yeah, alright. So this is all good. And let's just yoink that copper and destroy it. And now we'll know if any extra copper goes to the storage container. And we can go over and look at the iron, which is still just cooking along. Fortunately, the iron belts are somewhat shorter than the copper belts, so they have that advantage at least. And it looks like it is starting to get through. See, we can see some space here on this portion of the belt. And so this extra space should gradually propagate its way forwards as the excess gets drained until it all is open and good to go. So let's get the last excess out of here. Okay. For some reason, this one got all the excess. Oh, no, I just didn't click on this one properly. Alright, so now we should be good. We shouldn't have to drain that again. I will do it one more time once this is all done. So this is, I believe, the portion where it shifts from Mark 5 to Mark 4. And we're almost there. It's going to be harder to tell because there are more gaps in the Mark 5 section of belt than the Mark 4. But we should eventually get this through all the way up to there. Alright, that's pretty satisfying. Then let's just scan for any problems. I see a whole lot of green. I see a lot of green, that's always a great sign. Alright. Well, at least just at a brief scan, it looks like the factory is going at 100%. So then, let's head back here and wait. Let's just see how the iron is going. The extra space on the belts is still not making it past the transition from Mark 5 to Mark 4. Which isn't terribly surprising, although it looks like maybe, I don't know, it's hard to tell, but it looks like maybe there might be some weird spacing in there. It just takes a while because we're only putting 30 extra into here per minute, and we have a lot extra to remove. So I can just do this again. I just yoink. I just yoink some of the iron off of the belt. And that should help push the problem towards being resolved. There we go. So it hasn't quite gotten there, but that will have helped a bit. Although this is still happening just at this gap here. Although I feel like that's a real gap in there. I don't know. It's hard to say exactly, but it should be moving forwards at a reasonable rate. I mean, the copper was way faster. Copper's been cleared for ages. Alright, there's a whole lot of blue ornaments here, actually. Is that... Yes, that is something that I wanted to fix. So, let's grab all the blue ornaments out of these so that they can be at exactly the right speeds on the belts. There we go. Grab all of these. And then we're going to have to empty out our inventory in a little bit. Just a couple more. Don't want the earbud to fall out. There we go. Just one more stack of those, and then we clear them. And then we just keep going. So again, I just don't like the look of items sitting on belts, not moving at the full speed of the belt. So we clear out all of these excess inventories so that it all works at exactly the right rate. There we go. Blue ornaments cleared, and then they'll move in. Again, there are so many machines here that the excess ornaments on the belt should just disappear into them pretty easily. And the iron, meanwhile, is still doing its thing. So these last two are actually down to only operating at 100%, so we might have done it. This might be... I mean, it clearly looks like a belt of 480. Let's get a sign on it. Throughput monitor. Are you 450 and you just don't look like it? Yes, that is indeed what's happening. So, let's see, how do we make it not look fully saturated? Because I really just don't like the fully saturated look. I guess I could just like smart splitter and box and then have just that. Alright, congratulations. We have an extra output. So now this will be running at 480 now, which is the fastest that it can go. And that should deal with it. Although somehow this isn't going up. How is that even possible? I mean, this is a Mark IV belt, which is 480. Going to a Mark IV belt plus a Mark I belt. There's definitely enough output for this to be full speed 480 a minute. Am I insane? These are 480. Yes, they are. Alright, I guess this is just... I guess that's just what a belt like that looks like. It's almost full, but not quite. Alright, so there we go. That is in. And now we just have to let these get filled back up again. And that shouldn't be more than a couple seconds. There we go. We have iron going there now. And we are all set up and ready to go on that front. So now the blue ornaments are going. How many are there? There's 450 of these too, so that's fine. That belt is going to be mostly full. Let's clear out some of these to save a lot of inventory space. Alright, so I think that's gonna be all of the proper factory building. I mean, it looks basically... I don't see any yellow lights. And I don't see any items just sitting uselessly on belts. And that also maintains being true all the way over here. These ones are all going. The candy canes are going strong. And all of these outputs are good. Alright, I think then that is a success. I think this factory is fully operational. And we could just sync them. I never even activated this sync. It's a good thing I checked it there. There we go, sync's powered on. So now, in a minute, I mean, it's going to be ages before this properly fills up, because it's just very, very slow. It's so slow. But once it does, once it fills up, we will have some Christmas stars being sunk, and that will be a huge success. So, for decoration, because this is a Christmas event, I do want to do some Christmas decoration and not just Christmas themed factory stuff. So, I'm trying to figure out how I want that decoration to go, because this factory is very big, right? Like, this is huge. It's going to require an insane amount of stuff and time. Like, first of all, I don't have most of the Ficsmas stuff hooked up to dimensional storage. Second of all, even if I did, it would probably take me multiple streams, at least 2 or 3, to cover a factory of this size. So, I think instead of that, let's just like build a Ficsmas, a nice area back like near the main base or something. Like somewhere near the hub, where we have access to most of the rest of the various items. Now the downside is that we won't be able to use this production for that. So I could actually just create like a Christmas area just over here somewhere, although it's very green here. Oh, I have a dismantle crate. I should find that and pick it up. Alright, dismantle crate, where are you? You're over this way. And here. Alright, it should be right in front of me. Alright, dismantle crate. Where are you? I should be literally like exactly on top of it, but there's nothing out here. Oh, it's down here on the grass. What are you doing down here? There. Dismantle crate removed. I have no idea what it's doing there. Hey, look, a Mercer sphere. That'll be helpful. Always need more of those. Especially with some of them temporarily dedicated to Ficsmas stuff. I'm a bit shorter than I would usually be. Alright, so let's just set up an area just where would be nice and Christmassy. I can't remember if like this area is snowy or not. I don't think it is. I don't think there's any particularly snowy areas of the map just by default. So we're just going to build it here then. And let's build it a little bit away from the factory. So what I'm thinking is we could do like a factory cart obstacle course type thing with like skiing basically. That could be fun. Something like that could be cool. Alright, so let me think here. We're going to need... Well, one thing we're definitely going to need is we're going to want these snow dispensers and snow cannons, which means we're going to need snow. So let's just tack on a little area onto the factory over here where we just have a little bit of snow production. Should just be a couple of trees. We're going to need a lot of snow, but not like thousands or anything. So, I believe the snow is in a constructor. And it's quite a lot to get even a single constructor working with that. But that's fine. So 3 constructors is 75, which is, I believe, 5 trees. So 5 trees to 3 constructors is our ratio. So let's just do that. 1, 2, 3 constructors. And there we go. We get snow. I could even make this a blueprint if I wanted. And then I could just tile it everywhere we go. But I don't really have like infinite resources for gift trees. Oh wait, we have yellow here. What is going on? Okay, that was just a weird little flicker. Probably just a byproduct from when I was taking stuff out of machines. That does tend to be a thing that happens. So I need to grab some blue ornaments so that I can make some trees to get snow. I'm pretty sure I did not empty out this box of blue ornaments because I was worried a situation like this might occur. So let's just grab a couple stacks of those. And we have red ornaments that we can grab as well. And then the branches, we have enough to do this at least. And then gifts we're fine on, obviously. So let's run over to that area I had set out. Where even was that? It was over here. Alright. So we also need to power up these constructors. 1, 2, and 3. And then we go 1, 2, 3. Alright. So we don't I somehow managed to just do the math completely wrong, and we need more branches. Because we always need more branches, because this requires an insane amount of branches. But for now, we can just do this setup. and just go 3 to 3. And then add 2 more on once we can just find some branches, which I believe will actually just be in these machines, right? Yeah, so we can just yoink those. And tree. And let's get a surface for it. And tree. So these are going to be the last ones in this row, so they can just do that. And then that is going to need to be a Mark II belt in order to keep up. The rest of this will be fine. And then we just merge up the snow and make a storage container and dimensional depot. How much is this? This is going to be 30 snow per minute, which is not all that much. But it'll do at least for now. There we go. So now we have that. We have a supply of Fix-It Real Snow. And then all the rest of this is going to be just going along. I can't, like, do anything funny with these trees, right? They have no menu. Alright. So this is going now. And yeah, so we have snow. So let's see how the snow machines work. So we have our one snow machine over there, but not really much of anything. Alright, so let's just make a little platform here. And we get... oh, we need other stuff for these two. We need candy canes and iron ornaments. Well, I don't really have a great supply of iron ornaments other than just grabbing them off the belt. How many... I have one Mercer Sphere left, so I can't just like slap that down willy-nilly. Alright, how many of these do I need? 20 for just one of those? Alright, we're going to need to set up some way of dealing with that, because just grabbing them off the belts like this is not ideal. I guess we could just set up another... but we have plenty of iron and copper. We had to underclock those. So I could just yoink some more of the iron off of those belts to make a designated spot for it to be deposited. Okay, and then candy canes. We need 10 of those. Alright, so we can at least try it out. And then figure out how many we're going to need in order to create a fun wintry experience. Alright, so you require 100 snow. Can be attached to walls and ceilings. Alright, let's try that. So what happens if I just put you on a wall? Just like that. Do you actually do anything, or is it just the particle effects? That's the question. Looks like just the particle effects, which is fine, I guess. Although it doesn't make a very wintry wonderland to have the snow just falling on green grass. So that's a bit of a shame. And then the snow cannon, we've already tried that, and it doesn't really do much more. Alright. So what do we want to build then if snow isn't really going to work out? I guess we can just do a tree. So we can have a tree and then some... I don't know, this is going to look so lame though. Like, that's the problem, is that it's all green and happy around, and we want it to be snowy and wintry and fun. And this is obviously not the place for that. And this does not help. That doesn't help at all. Okay, maybe if we put it on... Maybe if we send it on to foundations, it'll work better. I don't know. Nope, no visible effect. Ah, well. In that case... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I need to build something, but making this factory is going to be way too much work, and anything smaller just seems like it would be incredibly lame. I don't really know what to do from here. I mean, I could just continue on with, like, ordinary factory stuff, but that doesn't seem very... That doesn't seem like the sort of Christmas thing that I would really want to be doing here. So, I don't know, let's see if we can just get some sort of factory cart ramp or something. Alright, so we can have this go there. I wonder how steep the factory cart can go, actually. I've never really tried to drive the factory cart all that much as like an entertainment thing. I've used them a bit to like transport things around the factory, but I don't know. Let's do that. Have I ever even purchased... I haven't even purchased the factory cart in this world. Let's see. Can I get a shop? I need screws. Of course I do. Alright, let's craft up some screws so that we can make a factory cart. And then see what we can do with a factory cart once we have it. So let's get all of the screws. I think that's enough, right? Yeah. So we can get that in and unlock the factory cart. And then we have to
Fix-It factory
go...
cart navigates on Fix-It foundation surfaces with extreme efficiency.
Workshop, right?
Not intended for use on hazardous terrain, mildly hazardous terrain, reasonably safe terrain, or general terrain.
Alright.
Fix-It reserves the right to subtract damage to or
Have
loss off vehicle
a
from your
factory
Save
cart.
the Day completion bonus package. For more information about
So
this
let's see
bonus
how steep
package,
the hill we
please
can
visit our
drive.
information booth in Earth, open on the first Tuesdays and Wednesdays of the month, between 6:25 a.m. and 6:53 a.m.
Alright. Up we go. Man, these things are faster than I remembered. So can we go all the way up the super steep? Yes, we can. And, oh boy, you lose control so easily in these things. Alright. Let's just take that apart. And I guess we can make a fun ski hill. So, I think... Let's see here. What do we want for a ski hill? We want it to mostly go down. We want some obstacles, right? So we're going to need it to be wider than this. And having it be this sort of like gradient of steepness is fine. So let's have it be nice and wide. Probably like 4 wide. And then you go down to there. Okay, well, we've built all this stuff in that area, so we're going to need to remove some of that. Oh, lag spike. Thank you, autosave. Alright, then that just goes down to the bottom. Alright, so let's see then. We can put in some snowmen as obstacles, I guess. So, I don't know, just like around in various locations. I don't know, let's see if we can even like avoid obstacles while doing this. Factory cart, plop you down, and enter. Alright, so we're going down and we're going to try to just... Oh boy. Yeah, okay, the maneuvering is not fantastic with this thing. But it also isn't terrible. Could be a lot worse. So let's create an area up at the top. And we're going to bring power up there because I want to be able to fly. And then we can extend this along. Alright, so now we have that. Ooh, we could do a jump. That would be fun. Oh, speaking of jumps, that's a bit of a jump there. Alright. It feels like the hitboxes on these are a bit larger than they look at first glance. So we're definitely going to need more snowmen. That's something. Like, just the 3 there is not terribly exciting. So we're going to need more snowmen. And those are going to mostly require candy canes, aside from what I already have. So let's fly up to grab some candy canes. See if we can find any spares. It'd be real convenient if there was just like a spare, yeah, a spare 40 or so in most of these machines. So now we have enough candy canes for a good, decent chunk of snowmen. So let's get back over here. And the spacing on the snowmen is pretty good. We just need more of them. And in more varied locations. Alright, what else is there? We can just do just pure candy canes. Alright, something like that. I don't know, maybe one in the center there. Alright, then we want a jump, right? This would be way more fun with a jump. Actually, we could have a jump on the slope itself and not at the bottom of the slope. So if we like have that and then a slight ramp up, then that can be a theoretical jump that points us directly into a candy cane. I might not have thought that through, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Alright, let's try... Oh, I didn't mean to open the inventory. Let's try bringing the factory cart down here. So if we want to go for the jump... Oh, the camera does funky things there. We go there... And then... Alright. The problem is our ski slope is quite short at the moment. And the jump sort of doesn't have much interesting going on with it. Like, there's no real way of messing it up. Right? 'Cause you just sort of... I mean, I guess you could lose control and go right into that candy cane, but it's kind of difficult to mess up that badly. And then we can just go up as well. Okay, the camera... What? Alright, maybe fixed camera. I hit C, and hopefully that will do something. Alright, there we go. You're going along. Yeah, alright. That's something of a... You could almost call it an obstacle course. I think it needs a bit more, though. Like, I don't know, maybe another jump, like, off to this side or something. Or maybe we just, like, have the jump be necessary. So if we just, like, take out a row in there, and then take out that, then we can build those ramps across like that. And then now you have to make a jump in order for it to work. Alright, and then we can place a couple snowmen up here. I don't know, something like that. I think I know what I'm doing, because I certainly do not. Alright, now we can go. Okay. I mean, jump isn't... It's not a terribly exciting jump, is it? And also, most of the obstacles are just kind of irrelevant and easy to dodge. Alright, new plan. Oh, also we can't get back up now. Whoops. Should have thought about that. Alright, so let's just get a return path up this way. Now we can go straight through that, I guess. That's fine. So then this, I think we need maybe one more. And then we need the foundations to come around. Okay. Then you go up to there, and it doesn't quite line up correctly, but that's fine. That's actually good, because it's a return path. And now you can't cheat by going down that way. Alright, so let's add some bigger blocks in so that you have to actually do something. So there you have to go around the edges. And then down there you have to go through the middle. And then there you have to go in those two. And then there you have to go in those two. Alright, something like that. And then where's the cart? It's down here. Alright, so now we take the cart, go around that corner. It's not the easiest return path to take. And then we go up here. Alright, the return path is in some ways more exciting than the actual slope. Alright. Down we go. Alright, wait. Okay, now we're sliding uncontrollably. So we need to go around there, then through there, then make the jump, then go through there, and then we're good to go. Alright, I guess there's just one more set of obstacles that I want. So let's make this just a little bit longer. So we can fit in another couple of walls. And what I want is something like that. And then that. That might be too sharp, but it also might not be sharp enough. I mean, nothing I've built so far has been tremendously difficult. Oh, there's a beam there. That is a fun little extra obstacle. Oh, okay. Drove off the track. I'm gonna have to dismantle the cart and just carry it back up to the top. Alright, so there we go. Alright, into the factory cart. And down we go. Okay, I guess we're going around this way. And we're going through there. Ah, we hit a snowman. Okay, that's good. That snowman is well placed. So then we have to swerve through that. And then get down here where we are done for now. Alright. Well, we have made something of an obstacle course, and a lot of the obstacles are Christmas themed, not all of them though. Can we put just decorations on these? Will that make it more Christmassy? Okay, we can actually place like a bunch of these. We can literally place over 100 of them. Alright. Through the power of spamming wreaths everywhere, this area is now more Christmassy than before. Alright, let's place a really mean candy cane. Oh, we don't have the candy canes for that. Well, we can pop a snowman right in there in the path that you'd like to take. And then we can just do this a little bit more. Now, I wonder if I can make the jump be more fun. Because right now the jump is just like a mandatory but not very interesting part. I mean, you go there, then you go there. I hit that same snowman again. Alright. Then we go down and around, dodge that snowman, then swerve back over here, and then this is the finish line down here by the grass. Alright, then we can drive back up if we can get ourselves pointing the right way. Drive back up shouldn't be too hard. Alright, up we go. And around. Yeah, this is... Okay, then we have to get over here. And then this is just really steep. So we have to go up around that power line, which is in the middle. And then randomly get turned around for no reason. And we're back up at the top. Alright. So that is, I guess we call that a success. We did a Christmassy thing. We made our Christmas obstacle course for a factory cart. So, that's that mission accomplished. Let's check over at our factory and see if it's going smoothly. I see a whole lot of green, which should only be possible if the entire factory is working properly. I've got 100% seemingly everywhere. Yeah, alright. Cool. So that is a success. We've done everything in there. Oh, we can apparently scan more hard drives. Should have been doing that this whole time. That's fine. It's not super important. So then I think... Let's see here. What else is there Christmas Eve that I want to do. I built my obstacle course. Building actual proper like decorative structures and stuff is way too much effort that I don't really want to go through. And we have the factories for all of this big stuff. We technically, I think we don't have dedicated factories for a lot of the easier things, like the wreaths, I think, technically have a very small dedicated factory back at Hub, but I think, is there, I want to figure out, okay, there's one last thing that I want to do, which is I want to figure out how to get the fireworks to work. So let's start by making a whole bunch of them. And actually all of these, let's see here. All of these require just like one step, right? Yeah, so all of those are just one step away. So let's make a firework factory. So step one, we're going to need some trees, but I guess we can actually leave that for the last step once the factory itself is designed. So let's just get some space, and there are 3 types of fireworks, so we're going to need 3 assemblers. Tree branch, actual snow, tree branch, bow, and tree branch candy cane. All right, let's actually just do a sushi belt for this. It seems like that wouldn't be terribly complicated, and it'll save a lot of space and a lot of just general effort. So we have a sushi belt, which just has all these smart splitters going across. Like this. Sushi belts, it's not a design that I normally use, but I am fully capable of doing it. So you are going to be tree branch. And you are going to be snow. There we go. Then I think all of these require one with tree branch. So there we go. Then you need a bow. And you need candy canes. So there we go. Then we have to set up the belts. So how much total is going on this? That's 12.5. That's 17.5. So those two total are 30. This one is 22.5. So actually Mark 1 belts theoretically would work for this whole system. Now with sushi belts in particular, you really want the belts going into the machines to be the same speed as the belts coming off of the splitter, as the belts going through the splitters. So that's something to keep in mind. Alright, so we need 7.5, 17.5, 32.5 tree branches. So let's get those set up. Oh, and this is going to need a sink at the end in order to keep the sushi belt working. So we'll do that in a minute. For now, we can have these constructors lined up like this. I think 22.5 is going to be 3 of them, right? Let's just confirm. 7.5 plus 15 is 22.5, 32.5. I don't know why I keep thinking 22.5. So we actually need 4 of them. And so these are going to be 32.5 divided by 4. And we can just paste those. Merge them all up. And did I not get that lined up quite right? I didn't. We want this to basically just be all one giant belt. Alright. I think on the sushi belts, actually, the center has to be overflow. I think I remember that. Is that important? I don't know. We'll figure it out. I think it is, though. Center overflow. Center overflow. And we just go down the line there. So now they should try to fit everything into the machines unless they go to the sink. Alright, so then we get our sink right there. That gets powered up. And we need a power line closer than all the way over there, so you can just do that. Alright, so you are powered up and ready to go. Now we have to get these. Alright, so that's the tree branches set up into those. Next we need 5 actual snow. So let's get a constructor for that. Select recipe. You get set to 5. Easy. Then we need 7.5 bows, which we can do with 2 of these. So we got 2 of those. Each of these are 7.5 divided by 2. There we go. Now we get those powered up. So we have that done, and now we just need 7.5 candy canes. So, is that going to be 1 constructor or multiple? It's going to be 2 constructors. And coincidentally already set to the right numbers. So now we just have to merge all of these guys up. And then we feed them. So we merge all of them up. This can all still just be a Mark 1 belt, because the throughput production on this is going to be quite low. So those all merge up. Let's get another power line just out over here for these 2. And then we have our gifts, which have to go into all of these. How much is that going to be? So that is going to be 22.5 plus 15, which is 37.5, plus 12.5, which is 50, plus 8.125 times 4 times 4 is 32.5, so we're looking at 82.5 gifts. Alright, and obviously balancing them is going to be basically impossible, and we're already doing sushi belt stuff anyways, so this is just going to manifold across. So let's get all of these splitters in, and we can potentially compensate for them being mildly not optimal by just putting in a couple extras. Because the amount of gifts that this needs is low enough that we can just do that pretty easily. Alright, so these all need to be Mark II belts. So we run you across. And then we just get our trees. So 82.5 divided by 15 is 5.5, so we're going to need 6 trees in order for this to work fully. And we're going to need more branches for that. So let's get our... We have a blueprint in here somewhere. Right. Where are you? There you are. So you can go in and just feed directly into the line of splitters. Like so. And there you are. So then we're going to need to grab some branches to finish this off. So let's head back over. Let's see, where are the branches? They're going to be in these machines, I think. Yes, so we can yoink a couple of those. And a couple of those. Get that all set up. And then hopefully we have enough of all the other things that this shouldn't be an issue. We do not need that many of these. So, let's go. Gift tree. Blueprint auto connect, because I might as well. 2, 4, and 6. And then just to help with the manifolding, we can add an additional couple in. So this should be a full Mark II belt of gifts, which is, it's being limited to that here. So then it'll just go on through, and we're gonna have some problems with this in terms of these things going out first, but it should be okay. Alright. So that is going to go... Let's see, how many more trees? We can fit 2 more trees in with our current amount of resources. So I might just do that. Let's pop you 2 in. That's an additional 30. And then we're going to have to make that Mark IIIs and that Mark IIIs, and then past this point it might technically matter a little bit, but it should be fine. So now we have like 150, which is almost twice as much as we need. Now unfortunately, the one thing that they're all waiting on, the tree branches, are the last in the manifold, which means it's going to take them forever. Do I have actually... Yes, I do actually have a couple stacks of gifts in dimensional storage from somewhere, who knows where. So I can speed that up by quite a lot. There, so the first couple are now properly saturated, which will potentially dramatically increase the speed at which this goes, especially with the extra trees helping even more. So this will go, and then we sushi belt. And we're going to have a bit of a hard time getting anything other than the first one actually produced, because the tree branches are all going to go into here. And I do not have anywhere near the reserves to do a similar fix, although I do need to remember that I just have these guys. So I can just yoink you, grab a couple stacks from there, and I mean, these are all basically running, right? This last one isn't. Yeah, so they're not quite at 100% yet, the last couple. but it's not too far off. So let's just fill you in with tree branches. Fill you in with tree branches. And then throw some extras in there, because why not? And then we can get our boxes, which, let's see here. Do I want this to run continually into a sink, or do I want it to just go into boxes? I think just going into boxes is totally fine. So we just get a couple of boxes, and there we go. So now we have those. We have 3 types of fireworks, total of 7.5 per minute, but only 2.5 each. And this is mostly going now. I mean, this one has plenty of spares. This one has plenty of spares. That one is actively filling. That one's already filled. So yeah, we should... I mean, because it's manifolds, it's going to take a while to fully saturate. But we should get there eventually. And we have our manual placed stuff in the meantime to get it running, even if it's not full speed ahead. Alright. So yeah, I mean, this last one is the only one which isn't running like most of the time. We're basically there. So this one will drain slowly because we're not getting enough branches, but the others should be fine. And then we have these fireworks to worry about. So I can just yoink some of them. And some of you. Okay, it's weird that these two are sorted there and this one is sorted up there. I don't know why that is. Alright, so it's not like a thing in here, right? There's not a Ficsmas section in the awesome shop where I have to like buy a rocket launcher, right? Equipment, maybe? Ammunition, no. Alright, how do we do this? So we did our hard drive scan there. We got some stuff. I don't want to do another hard drive scan because we might need to... We might need to unlock something in here, like... I don't know, maybe the rebar gun launches rockets? Who knows? I'm just gonna Google it real quick. Satisfactory fireworks. Alright. Obelisk detonator, press G to switch ammo to a firework. Got it. Alright, that's easy. And I already have one of those. So, we go to you. Maybe you have to hold G. Alright, maybe you reload, then switch. No. It's not that. Oh, this is from 2021. Alright. Fireworks. How does this work? Does this have any information on it? Alright. No, doesn't seem to. Alright, does the internet say? Use the detonator, throw them like an obelisk. Alright, well, I don't believe you, but Alright, so let's throw that. Maybe... How does this work? Alright, they're definitely convinced that they're nobelisks, so that, at least they were last year. They're probably the same. Alright, it might be because I'm... Alright, press R key to select fireworks. Nope. Alright. That's just another one of those. Ready for random explosions. I have these in my inventory. And I actually have other types in my inventory that I can't use. So these say compatible weapons, nobelisks. These don't. So then what are they then? Let's see if they're rebar gun. So we should be able to just
Research completed.
get through
Alien protein
that
can now
pretty
be turned
quick.
into biomass or alien DNA capsules. In addition to being used for research, the invaluable
Alright.
alien life form data in
Constructor.
these capsules can be traded for Fixit coupons at the Awesome Sink. We guarantee the
Alien
best
DNA
capsule to
capsules.
coupon exchange rate anywhere on this planet.
Sloop you and power it up. So we're going to need a couple of these just to confirm whether or not it's the rebar gun. And besides, it's super weird to have not unlocked the rebar gun by this point in the playthrough anyways, so that'll be fine. We also need to grab a stack of rods. Alright, was that... How many do we need? Not many, right? There we go. So we unlock that. And then we need
Research to
more
develop the
screws.
rebar
Of
gun
course
is
we
now
do.
available. When completed, you will be in possession of a tool effective against any local obstacles
Alright,
actively
we
objecting
need-
to the Fixit
We
mission.
need screws. And let's get those going, I guess. Just cast screws. Okay, well, no, don't dismantle power lines. So we need a little bit of space. So let's go constructor, smelter. So this is cast screws. You are iron. And we're gonna feed you manually. And then you are going to belt over to there. And you can be overclocked in order to be able to use all of them. So there we go. That should get us the screws for this research really quickly. Technically 125 screws, but it's not actually because this is only 30 iron ingots. So Mark II belt should be sufficient. Alright, how many screws did I need? I believe it was 500. Alright, so just in case it isn't that, we don't really have the ability to just go through there. We could unlock pulse nobelisks pretty easily, actually. Let's grab crystal oscillators and what was the other thing? Was it plastic? No, it was regular nobelisks. Alright, so let's unlock those. So that if you need multiple types of nobelisks in order for the rockets to work, then we can do that.
Pulse Nobelisk unlocked. This ammunition for the Nobelisk detonator generates a
Alright.
powerful shockwave capable of repelling nearby objects, including the user. Unrelated. Please ensure all your Fixit
Alright.
liability waivers are up to date.
So we've got that. We have... Gosh, Gosh, it's going to take a while for those screws to come through. And we might need to refill that. Okay, so it's not V, that scans. Is it H? No. Alright. I cannot figure out how to use a fancy firework. I can split them in half. That's fine. I can put them into the dimensional storage. Not what I wanted to do, but it's okay. This is all running. And it seems like it's going stably. Alright. Then we can go over here. And if it is that we needed like the rifle, that's gonna suck. Because that's not easy to just randomly grab, just on a whim. Alright, let's grab all of that. And unlock the rebar gun. We need rotors and reinforced iron plates. Gosh, this is something which I haven't had to do in quite a while. Alright, rebar gun unlocked. Huge success.
Rebar gun
Now,
and iron rebar ammo unlocked.
these
Your
work.
ingenuity
No.
towards preservation of fixed property has been noted. You earned a micro break. And welcome back. I hope you feel refreshed.
Alright. I cannot figure out how to use the fireworks. The previous years they all said that they were a type of Nobelisk. But that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Okay, so that's talking about how you unlock them, but no. Yeah, okay, it doesn't say. I think it might just be bugged or something, which is a shame. I also still haven't successfully changed the Nobelisk recipe for anything. Let's just see if I'm completely out of them. Then I'm completely out of those, but I have these, and they aren't being set up either. So I think I just don't know the button for it. Let's see. Options, key bindings. What is the button for this? Let's see here. No, it's none of these, probably, unless I've missed it. Alright. I feel like I've definitely missed it at this point. Alright. Equipment. Open menu is left, cycle is right. Open menu is R. Ah, we figured it out. You have to hold R. I don't know why it wasn't working before. Alright, sparkly firework. Let's see what this looks like. Ooh. And up it goes into the sky. Alright, that's neat. Okay, but I want now to do this. And off you go. That one makes a bit of a sound. Oh, it's that kind. I like that kind. And then got one more type of firework, which was the fancy fireworks. And off you go. Dang, that was fast. And bright, too. Alright. We figured out the fireworks. So, all in all, that was a success. Alright, so this is working. Gosh, sushi buses. There's a reason I don't use these often. It just made sense here because I had like 4 ingredients total going into 3 machines. But normally you don't do this type of thing, especially because it requires either like individual load balancing for each one, which kind of defeats the point, or it requires manifolds, which I don't like. But it does work. I mean, you just have to be a bit careful with ratios and stuff, but it works perfectly fine. It's just is very disturbing to look at. Alright, so that's a success. We've got this guy. Let's land on him and pet it, I guess. Got an achievement for that, actually. Alright, I don't want this guy to take me too far away from the factory. Alright, so what else is there to do? We've got our rockets. Actually, let's do like a giant fireworks display. That'll be fun. Because we should be able to, if we just grab these, we should be able to launch a whole bunch of them all at once. So let's, I don't even know what type this is, but we're gonna throw a couple and have them just spaced around, I guess, like that. And then we are going to swap to a different type. And we're going to throw a couple more just around. La da da da. I wonder if it can even handle this many fireworks. I hope I'm not going to break something important. Alright, so you can go super far out that way, I guess, and out that way. And over that way. I hope it doesn't land under something. No, it's just going to land on that. Alright, there we go. Alright. So, it's kind of difficult to get like a proper fireworks display thing because it's all about the timing with those, but this, you can only just launch them all at once. But that's fine. It's still pretty and sparkly and fun. Alright, I think we're probably just about done here. I've built a very scuffed Christmassy skiing downhill obstacle course thing. I've made this factory completely functional, and aside from the fact that like some of these I yoinked the tree branches from, it's all totally stable. And I've set up some fireworks shenanigans, and yeah, so I think that's about it. Thanks ever for hanging out. It's been a lot of fun. The Christmas event is pretty neat. It's nice to work with things that just like have clean, convenient ratios again. When you're this late in the game, it's all like, oh yes, 2.431 of this, plus 17.832 of that, plus 19.49. It makes one of this last thing. It's like, well, that's annoying. But with these, the ratios are nice and convenient, which is always nice and relaxing and fun to not have to worry about ridiculously complicated load balancing stuff and just like basics with like 1 to 8s and stuff. But yeah, so that's about it. Thanks for hanging out. I had a lot of fun. I will be streaming after New Year's next, so probably like what, the 2nd or something, if that's a weekday. I don't know. I have not planned that far in the future, so yeah. But if that is a weekday, then probably I'll be streaming then. Otherwise, it might not be until the next Monday. But yeah, make sure to stop by then. And follow if you haven't already so that you can see when I go live. I normally play Factorio on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I wanted to just finish up this Christmas event. And so we'll be back to the regular schedule after this. And yeah, that's about it. I play every weekday from 2 to 5 Eastern Time under normal circumstances. The holidays are not normal circumstances, but you know, we're going to be getting back to normal soon. So, that's about it. Thanks ever for hanging out, and I will see you guys next